My name is Joel Bustos, and I'm going to propose a question in a speech right now. So we do know that some people are just happier than others. They're more content with their lives, and they're more satisfied with their lives. They can be incredibly happy with where they are, but they might not even have much. While people who have all the riches in the world really don't have could suffer through depression or could really go through a lot, and they could be really incredibly unsatisfied with where they are. And so my question to you is, why is that? Why are some people just naturally more happier than others, or satisfied or content? Why is that? A good chunk of the American population is unsatisfied and unhappy and uncontent with their lives. This is a big issue because the public health, the economy, all that hinges on the decisions of American people. And if people aren't that mentally healthy to make those decisions, it's a big issue. It's a massive issue. And so, what I'm going to propose to you may sound really silly, and it's far from a solution that can definitely solve everything, or even a good chunk of your problems. But what I'm about to tell you is scientifically backed, and even if you are satisfied with where you are right now, or not, hopefully it can change your life and offer some insight into who you are and why you feel a certain way. And maybe you can share this info with some people that might have similar problems, or not even a problem at all, just having issues in the first place. And so, a lot of people who suffer through depression, from a quote from Mitch Albom, a lot of people who suffer through depression also suffer through intense dissatisfaction with their lives. And actually, most of the time they go in hand in hand. And people often have this issue of tending to fighting with others because they're dissatisfied with themselves. Like literally from a quote from William Hazlitt, we are never so much disposed to quarrel with others as when we are dissatisfied with ourselves, which basically means that we tend to lash out on others because we aren't happy with ourselves in general. And so these are real big issues right now. These are real big issues that tend to infect, infect most of the Western society in general. People have so much opportunity, but they're so dissatisfied with their lives. And this is a big issue again. It affects the economy, it affects the public health, it affects mental health in general. And that's really important to society. And so the solution, you should practice gratitude. Gratitude's a very, hashtag gratitude. It's a lot more in depth than that. It's asking yourself questions about what are you grateful for. Keeping a gratitude journal, making sure you're logging in, stuff like that. Showing gratefulness and gratitude towards others has been shown to increase relationships with others. Gratitude often increased relationship qualities rating by 21% on a study by the NCBI Institute. And the type of questions you should ask yourself is, what am I grateful for in this person? Or are things really better than the things I already have? Or am I just trained to be dissatisfied? And how can I just be more grateful instead of being more dissatisfied? That quote is actually from Chuck Palahniuk from Lullaby, from a book he wrote called Lullaby. Let me go focus on myself. Um, and Gratitude can often improve relationships with others by a substantial amount. In another institute by the NCBI, they improved happiness by 3.5 points on a 25 to 35% point scale. So the lowest score is 25, the highest score is 25. It increased it by 35% within that 10-point range, which is a significant amount. And making all your relationships 35% more valuable is incredibly important and shows the impact of gratitude. Gratitude journals are essentially the main way to go about this. Essentially, the way they work is that every single day you try to write down something that you're really grateful for, and write down something that you're grateful for connection wise. So, like for example, I'm grateful for I was able to save this amount of money today, and I'm also grateful that I have a really good relationship with one of my best friends. I wouldn't know what to do without them. And that doing that repetitively over weeks can really have a lasting impact. It's been shown to increase happiness for people by 3.5%, by 35% on a 25 to 35 point scale by the NCBI Institute, or increase satisfaction with life by 2 points on a 20 to 25 point scale by the NCBI Institute. All different studies, but this institute did a lot of studies towards gratitude, because they noticed how much showing gratitude toward other people can really make an impact. And a 2 point increase on a 5 point scale was 40%. Increasing satisfaction with life by 40% is an absurd amount. It shows you the extent of being able to ask yourself these questions and being able to make sure that the relationships you form really are you're grateful for them and that they really have good connections. Now you're probably gonna say, but it can't possibly be that simple. I mean, how can something like that help at all? It just seems like another step with seemingly little effort. It's not little effort. It's not that simple. Any sort of mental challenge isn't ever that simple. This is something you have to practice and be consistent about. Doing it for weeks, daily, and keeping tabs with yourself every single day. It's really important to keep that sort of consistency. And if you generally have a mental challenge, you should go and find help. And so again, another like, why? How do we know for certain that these strategies are in fact true? Again, there is a lot of scientific backing behind it, and from the studies and data, it's worked on many different types of people through peer-reviewed studies that shown and collected all this data. And so a gratitude journal is basically the main way to go about this, but also asking yourself these questions towards people and yourself, especially. Self-reflection is basically one of the key things with this gratitude sort of changing, and you should go ahead and change your daily thoughts into expressing gratitude, because it will affect your life. Most of these effects have lasted for weeks or months, even after the study has ended. So it's not just quick, if you stop it then that's it. No, it'll last for a really long time, and that's really, really important. So you should start these exercises and change your view on life towards a more grateful view, even if you have everything or nothing, because at the end of the day, someone has it better or worse than you, but you shouldn't focus on that. You should be grateful for what you have. It'll make an impact and maybe even turn your mental health around or start it for the better. There was a quote that says that let me pull it up right here, that a single well-timed psychological intervention can trigger a cascade of positive and durable outcomes by creating one positive event. It's a cascade. It'll continue, and starting practicing gratitude is that cascade starter. So if everyone does this and you spread this message around and actually make it the effort to go through it yourself, it can possibly make the world a better place. And who wouldn't want that?